The courthouse was already packed before Tiny even stepped inside. Cameras flashed from every direction, reporters shouting her name, fans screaming questions that echoed off the walls. She walked past them quietly, her head lowered behind dark glasses, her lips pressed tight like she was holding in every emotion she had left. For weeks, the rumors had been boiling online, whispers of betrayal, a secret that involved T.I. and Shekinah, and now the truth was about to unfold where it mattered most. Right here in court, people in the hallway could feel it. That tension that comes when something big is about to break. The kind that makes you stop scrolling, hold your breath, and ask, what really happened? Tiny had been quiet all this time, but today, everyone knew she couldn't stay silent anymore. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was thick. T.I. sat at the defense table, adjusting his tie every few seconds, looking like he was trying to stay calm but failing miserably. Shekinah sat 2 seats away, avoiding everyone's eyes. The two of them hadn't spoken since that night, since the secret came out, and the silence between them was louder than any words could ever be. Tiny took her seat, her hand trembling as she held a folder close to her chest. Her lawyer leaned over, whispering something to her, but she barely responded. Her eyes were locked on T.I., the man she'd trusted with everything, her home, her heart, her life. And now it felt like she didn't even know who he was anymore. The judge entered. The room fell silent. The gavel hit the desk. All rise. And just like that, the trial began. What no one expected was how quickly things would spiral out of control. The first 30 seconds set the tone. The prosecutor wasted no time, standing tall and confident, his voice echoing through the room as he spoke about betrayal, broken trust, and secrets that were never meant to be exposed. Tiny sat there, her heart pounding with every word. Her lawyer had warned her this would be brutal, but nothing, absolutely nothing, could prepare her for what she was about to hear. The courtroom screens flickered on. A series of text messages appeared, messages between T.I. and Shekinah. At first, they looked harmless, like old friends joking around. But then the tone changed. The messages became personal, emotional, deep. The kind of conversations you'd never expect your closest friend to have with your husband behind your back. Tiny froze. Her hands tightened on the table. Her lawyer whispered, "Don't react," but it was too late. Her jaw clenched, her breathing quickened, and her eyes filled with tears that she refused to let fall. She looked over at Shekinah, who wouldn't even look up. It was like the world stopped spinning. T.I. sat completely still, his expression blank, his eyes fixed on the screen like he was trying to convince himself it wasn't real. The messages kept coming, line after line, painting a picture that no one in that room could unsee. The judge cleared her throat. "Mr. Harris, do you wish to comment on this?" T.I. didn't move. For a few seconds, it felt like he was frozen in time. Then he finally spoke. His voice was low, careful, almost too calm. "These messages," he said, "they were never supposed to mean anything like that. They were taken out of context." Tiny let out a short laugh. Not out of humor, but disbelief. Everyone could hear the pain in it. She shook her head slowly, whispering under her breath, "Context? That's your defense?" The judge tapped her gavel again, trying to maintain control. But the damage was already done. Shekinah shifted in her seat. Her eyes were glassy, and she finally spoke up. Her voice cracked as she said, "It wasn't what it looks like, Tiny, I swear. You know me. I'd never—" Tiny cut her off. Her voice was shaking, but sharp. "You'd never what, Shekinah? Lie to me, go behind my back? You were my sister. You were in my house, around my family, around my kids." Her voice echoed through the room. The judge tried to calm her down, but Tiny was past the point of composure. She'd held this in for weeks, pretending to be strong, pretending it didn't hurt. But the truth was right there in front of her now, flashing on the screen, mocking her. The courtroom erupted. People whispered, some gasped, others just stared in shock. Even the reporters outside could feel the chaos from behind the closed doors. The judge finally shouted, "Order! Order in this courtroom!" The gavel slammed down, but Tiny didn't care. She turned to T.I., tears streaming now. "You could have told me. You had every chance to tell me the truth. But instead I had to find out from her." T.I. tried to speak, but Tiny held up her hand. Don't say another word. You had your say for years." For a moment, the room was silent again. Even the judge seemed to hesitate, unsure whether to continue or to give Tiny a moment to breathe. But the cameras kept rolling, the world kept watching, and the story kept unfolding. Outside the courtroom, social media was already going wild. Clips leaked within minutes. Hashtags trended. Everyone was talking about Tiny's breakdown, about the betrayal, about the secret that no one could fully explain but everyone wanted to know more about. Inside, though, it wasn't just gossip. It was raw, painful reality. Tiny sat back down, wiping her tears. Her lawyer placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. T.I. looked like a man completely lost, his face buried in his hands. And Shekinah? She just sat there, silent and small, her eyes fixed on the floor, knowing that no apology could ever fix this. The judge called a recess. Everyone stood, but no one spoke. As the bailiff opened the doors, Tiny stayed seated, staring straight ahead. After a few moments, she finally whispered, "All I ever wanted was honesty." Her voice broke. It was barely audible, but everyone nearby heard it. As the court cleared, Shekinah tried to approach her. "Tiny, please, just hear me out." Tiny stood up slowly, her face streaked with tears. "I've heard enough," she said softly. "Now I know exactly who you are." The way she said it cut deeper than any scream ever could. Shekinah froze, her lips trembling. T.I. stood a few feet away watching, but he didn't move. For once, he had no words. The cameras followed them as they exited in opposite directions. Tiny walked straight past the reporters without saying a single word. T.I. tried to follow, but her security blocked him at the door. The crowd outside went wild, flashes lighting up the night as the chaos spilled onto the street. For the next few days, the internet exploded. Everyone had an opinion. Some blamed T.I., others blamed Shekinah, and some said Tiny overreacted. But those who knew her said she'd been carrying this pain for too long, and this was just the moment it all came out. Behind the scenes, people close to the trio started talking. Rumors of past tension, secret arguments, jealousy, and power struggles all resurfaced. Everyone had a story to tell, but only one truth mattered. The trust was gone. Tiny disappeared from the public eye for a while after that. No interviews, no posts, no statements, just silence. And that silence said more than words ever could. T.I. tried to fix things privately. He sent flowers, messages, even public apologies masked as generic posts about forgiveness and growth. But Tiny didn't respond. The woman who had stood by him through everything, the scandals, the criticism, the ups and downs, was done. And Shekinah? She tried to clear her name, going live one night to explain her side. Her voice trembled as she said, "People don't understand. I love Tiny like family. I never meant to hurt her. I didn't leak anything, I said something I shouldn't have and it got out. But once words are out, they can't be taken back. And for Tiny, it didn't matter whether it was intentional or not. The damage was done." Weeks later, the court finally reached a decision. It wasn't about winning or losing anymore. It was about closure. The judge made it clear, some things can't be undone by the law. Tiny nodded silently. For her, this wasn't about money. It wasn't about headlines. It was about respect, trust, and pain. As she walked out of that courthouse one last time, the same cameras flashed again, the same reporters shouted her name, but this time she didn't look broken. She looked free. She stopped for a second on the courthouse steps, turned toward the chaos, and simply said, "I'm moving on." And just like that, she walked away. The internet erupted again. But this time it wasn't pity, it was support. Fans flooded her page with love, messages of empowerment, encouragement, strength. Shekinah stayed quiet. T.I. stayed silent. The story faded from the headlines after a few weeks, but the lesson stayed with everyone who watched it unfold. Because in the end, this wasn't just about gossip. It was about trust, loyalty, and how even the closest people can change when secrets come to light. It was about how one truth can destroy years of friendship, and how sometimes the only way to survive betrayal is to let go. Tiny did just that. She rebuilt herself piece by piece, privately and quietly. And while the world kept speculating about what really happened behind closed doors, she no longer cared. Her silence became her strength. Months later, when she finally returned to social media, she posted one line, "Peace is better than answers." And with that, the story closed, not with revenge, not with drama, but with peace. Because sometimes the loudest ending is the one where you walk away and never look back. Loudest ending is the one where you walk away and never look back.